live the lives one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
Feel defeated and you're down for the count. You feel like life has thrown you blows and God ain't been around. But I've come to encourage you, so hold your head high. Know that God is in your corner now. Inner lies, you are a winner. You just can't lose. Who burned a cave more than a conqueror? Jesus in you. You are a winner. You were born to win. More than a conqueror, power within. You are a winner. Somebody's saying to me now, you just don't understand. No, I understand you very well. Where I've been, so I come to encourage you, pull you up by your hand. Know that God is in your corner now. Just expect this His plan. You are a winner. You just can't move. Burn a cave more than a conqueror. Jesus in you. Oh yeah, you are a winner. You were born to win. You burn a cave more than a conqueror. Power within. Oh yeah, and I know what it feels like at the end of your road. But I also know what the word says to give you hope. He said you're more than a conqueror. You can do all things through Christ. And He gave His life just so that you can have abundant life. You are a winner. Yes, you are. You just can't lose. Who burned a cave more than a conqueror? Jesus in you. Oh yeah, you are a winner. Yes, you are. You were born to win. Who burned a cave more than a conqueror? Take it out right here and help me sing. You are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You are a winner. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to the Loretta Petit Show, Women Winning at Life from Ministry to Marketplace. Oh, that's a big gap in between, from ministry to marketplace. We wear so many hats, but you can be a winner at whatever you put your hands to doing. Just remember to acknowledge God in all of your ways, and he will direct your path. If God said a thing, will he not do a thing? Question mark, exclamation point. Yes, he will. Amen. Listen, I want to say this to you today, that each time a woman stands up for herself, she stands up for every woman. So remember that in your goings in and comings out for the rest of this weekend, going into next week. Don't sit by silent when you see something is wrong, when you see something is unjust and unfair. You know what? I want you to stand up in your big girl pants, and I want you to speak up. Speak up, because you could be saving others from the same kind of situation that you're finding right before your eyes. So when something is alarming to you, it is probably also alarming to others. So if the Lord brings it to you, it's because you probably need to take action on it, okay? So today I want to talk to you about feeling unsupported. Feeling unsupported. Now, many women feel unsupported. How about that? And, you know, we go through life that way. It's not always the spouse or the significant other that doesn't know how to make us feel supported, because many times women are single. They're by themselves. They don't have a significant other, and they certainly don't have a spouse, and there are other dealings and other relationships, whether it's with their pastors, they don't feel supported, whether it's with their girlfriends, they don't feel supported, whether it's on the job, they don't feel supported. So wherever it is that you may not be feeling supported, I want to encourage you today. I want to inspire you today with something that I'm going to share, and I pray that, you know, you can be okay, because believe it or not, many people feel unsupported in their different and various circles, right? So when that happens, do you just sit down and let life pass you by, or do you still stand up and be confident and move into the things that you know you've been called to do? Sometimes we're going to be supported, and that's absolutely awesome. But then there are times the people that are closest to us, those that we seem to embrace the most, support the most, help the most, and be there for the most, are the main ones who may not turn around and support us. But I want us to change our mindset. And this quote was given, I don't know who wrote it, it's unknown. A community of friends supporting each other can make a world of difference. So just like you need support, know that someone else is needing support as well. Just like you need support, someone else is needing support as well. And if you can offer that support, please don't neglect to give that support to a sister and even to a brother. Everyone needs to be supported at some time. Now, many of us feel that we're not getting the support that we want or even deserve inside of our relationships, whatever kind of relationships they are. I know I found that out a long time ago, that I befriend people and they befriend me, but they don't support me in the way that I feel is needed. So when people don't support me in the way that I feel is needed, then I don't put too much energy into that relationship, because I'm giving, and I'm sacrificially giving in most of the relationships that I'm in, I will sacrificially give because that's who I am. And if you're needing something and I can offer that support, I'm going to do it. Whereas when the shoe is on the other foot and now I am needing that support, I look around and it seems like there's nobody there. It's disheartening, to say the least. It's disheartening, but it is real life. So now what I do is when I find that they're not offering that support, I just don't pour too much energy into that relationship, but I put that energy on reserve for those who may be attempting to offer that kind of support for me. Now, everything's not good for everybody, right? You may have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it really hits the spot for you. But for someone else, it's like, oh, man, that's just an appetizer. That's making me even more hungry. So even though it may be good and it may be a worthy choice for somebody's meal, it doesn't fit the bill for everybody. So when you have your friendships, what you're offering as a friend may not be good enough for some people. It may be just enough for others, and you may even come across overbearing to yet others. So we've got to find that love language. That's right, in platonic situations and relationships. We've got to find the love language. How do we communicate best? What is it that we need from a friend? What is it that we expect from a friend? What is it that we're willing to give to this relationship? Because all friendships are not created equal. Okay, so here we go. Now, you're feeling that way. Now, maybe we've never felt supported by all of our friends or all of our family members. And maybe we don't even feel supported by our peers or our coworkers, as I said earlier. Maybe we don't even feel supported by our partner. And, you know, as I said earlier, alluded to that this can be disheartening. It can make us feel drained sometimes, tired, unhappy, like we're moving through life without much fuel to keep going. Now, even though these things tire us out, they drain us, at some point, we've got to stop, press that pause button and say, what am I doing? If I am going up a hill to nowhere, why am I going? Turn around, my friend. Come back down. Because every time we make a step forward, we want to be heading somewhere. We want it to end up being something that's going to be good for all of the effort that we put into it. You may have to shift in the way that you see relationships and in the way that you think about them and even the way that you feel. You may have to shift. These relationships are draining you, and when relationships are draining you, they even can become toxic to you. You've got to know the relationships that really work for you, and those are the ones that you want to embrace, and make sure that you nourish. Because this is a situation I heard came up the other day, and it's so true. I have a friend in my life. I'll call her a friend, loosely use the word friend. We've gone through a few little things together, but I still feel sometimes unsupported by this friend, right, quote unquote. So therefore, I started to back up a little bit and not put so much energy into it, because when I'm needing someone's shoulder to lean on, she's usually absent, right? I heard someone talk about the other day how sometimes you may get a phone call from a quote-unquote friend or someone who knows that they can talk to you. And when they call, they just blurt it all out, everything they're going through, all their situations, everything, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. They talk, and you're just listening, actively listening, because you're feeling, okay, well, they need to talk about these situations. And then they may say, I don't know what to do. I wish somebody would tell me what to do. I wish I knew, how to get through it, da-da-da. So you're trying to maybe share a word or, something that would encourage them or redirect them. And not only that, you went through a few things yourself that day. You went through, and you really need someone to talk to as well. So this being your friend, you're waiting till she's done so that you can maybe share a point or two for her and then be able to share what you've been going through. But once she finished unloading all of that crap onto you, then she says, listen, I got to go. I'll talk to you later. You say, wait, but I ain't got time. I got to go. What kind of stuff is that? And it happens regularly with some people, right? This is what they do often. They'll call. Yeah, how you doing? Everything's okay? Oh, that's good. Yeah, we need to get together. We need to do something together. And da-da-da-da. Girl, you wouldn't believe what kind of day I had. And then they start to talk. Oh, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And then you say, girl, me too. You would not believe this. But you remember that, excuse me, listen, I'm going to have to run. I'll talk to you later. Left hanging, holding on to the bag again. And you're wondering, what kind of relationship is this? What kind of relationship is this? And you walk away feeling disheartened because you're like, I'm always listening. I'm always listening to her dumping all this big, heavy load on me. And when I get ready to dump some of my stuff off on her, she never has time, or he never has time. Sometimes our best friends are guys, and platonically. And so you're wondering, well, what is really going on here, right? What is really going on here? So, my friends, my sisters, what's really going on here is that you've got to pause, press the pause button, and you've got to say, wait a minute. I'm the head, not the tail, above only, not beneath. I shouldn't always feel like the scum of the earth every time I talk to this sister. Every time I let her dump all of this on me, I was happy when she called, and then I'm overloaded and burdened down when she gets off the phone with me. So maybe you need to shift in that relationship. And I don't mean just cut her off coldly, but you have to maybe have a face-to-face and say, we need to talk about something, and share with her how you feel when she does what she does. Now, I've had this conversation, by the way, and sometimes they apologize, and it recurs over and over again. And so at some point you're going to say, okay, this is enough, and you're going to have to back out of that situation. Because it's not like you have not alerted her. It's not like you have not taken time out to sit down and explain it to her. It's not like you've not done any of that stuff, but it recurs. So you have to chalk it up to, that's just the way she is. But that's not working for me. If the way she is not working for you, then you've got to shift that relationship and not make it a priority for you, spending a lot of energy and sacrificing, and if you feel like you're not getting it back in return when you need it the most. You don't do tit for tat. I'm not just giving to you to give to me, but not only am I not doing that, I'm always trying to support you, but then there are going to be times when I need to be supported, and I need you to be there. I need you to care enough to make some little sacrifices for me as well. And if a person cannot do that, then that should be all that you need, right, to be able to redirect your energy. So I want you to ask yourself, is my story preventing me from feeling supported or being supported by those in my life? My story, yes. Do you tell yourself stories like, nobody understands me? Yeah, your words. Are they hindering you? Are they messing with your thought pattern and making you behave in a certain way that people won't be around, don't want to be around to support you? Nobody understands me. He can't understand me. She can't understand me because she has not gone through what I've gone through, right? Or that I always have to take care of others and nobody seems to step to the plate to take care or to help me out. Or do you repeatedly tell yourself, I am never supported in my relationships? You know, you got to watch your words. As believers, and I hope that I'm speaking to some believers today. As believers, God has put something special in our words. It's called power, and death and life power at that. So we've got the power to speak life, and we've got the power to speak death. And if we're always speaking negativity into our lives, into our atmosphere, if we're always saying the negative, then the negative, it blooms from the negative seeds that we have planted. So you've got to watch what you say, because the way that you're saying what you're saying and what you're saying into your atmosphere could be preventing people from wanting to step up to be supportive to you. We've got to acknowledge our stories. Think about it. Be real and honest with yourself. And we are then able to shift our perception and open ourselves to receiving support from others. The second thing is you have to ask yourself, am I reaching out to others for support? Now, oftentimes when we feel like we're not receiving what we desire from others, it is because we're not open to receiving what we need. Not all the time. As I said before, gave you a great scenario. Not all the time, but often for some and several times for others, we're not open to receiving. I used to be that person too, and the kind of receiving I'm talking about are things or money, and yes, sometimes help. I would always be the one to lend or to buy a dinner or to buy a lunch or whatever. I was always the one, the giver. And so when people started giving to me, God's favor came over me, and people started giving to me, and they started, buying lunch for me and buying dinner for me and, giving clothing to me and purses to me and taking me shopping. And it was difficult. I started feeling strange. Like, who am I? Like, what is going on? What is this about? I had to learn to be a receiver, and we must learn to be receivers, right? So are you reaching out because now you know how to receive, or are you not reaching out because you don't yet know how to receive? I want to encourage you to ask God to help you to not just be a giver, but also to be a receiver. Yeah, it's as if a little shop set up for business, but we have all the doors locked. You're needing the help, but you're not letting anybody in, right? Consider yourself and think about your situation. Be sure to tell others when you are going through a difficult time, and ask people for help rather than trying to figure it all out on your own all the time. By letting people know that we're seeking their help and their support, their input, their feedback, we're much more likely to receive it, okay? And then the final thing I want you to ask yourself, am I supporting myself? What we experience outside of ourselves is often a reflection of whatever we are experiencing within ourselves. If we are not feeling supported by others, then it is likely true that we may not be supporting ourselves. So be careful of that. It's not always the case, but in many times it could be the case. You want others to do things for you that you could rightfully do for yourself. The key to shifting this is find ways to feel full and supported within yourself, within myself, instead of focusing solely on what I want or what you want from others. That should not be our sole focus, not our sole focus, right? So we have to understand that we've got to support ourselves. Ask yourself, am I supporting my body when it's sick or tired by letting my body rest? Do I support myself by finding time to do the things that I love to do? Do I give myself the things I know my body needs? But do I go to my doctor appointments when I'm sick, or find a therapist when I'm having a hard time and can't find anybody in my circle to really talk to that will keep my business under wraps? Then I want you to take a step further and ask yourself, am I really myself when others are around? You know how people put on airs? Yeah, when certain people are around them. That was one of the things that I recognized even in ministry, how some people put on a face for my pastor or for my bishop, and then they're a totally different way when they're not around. What kind of stuff is that? So ask yourself, am I really myself when I'm around others? Am I putting myself in relationships with people who truly accept me for who I am or who they think I am? Do I allow myself to share my authentic self with others? Those are some things I want you to think about, think through. If we want to be fully supported in the different and various aspects of our lives, we need to choose to be in relationships where we feel free to be our authentic selves. So I pray today that you have been encouraged, that you have been inspired, even though I know sometimes I walk away from situations feeling totally unsupported. But I can say within myself, it's okay. I'm good. The Lord loves me. I am chosen. God has anointed me. He has placed me on assignment, and as long as God loves me, I am truly loved enough. I am truly loved enough. So I'm not going to let it get me down. However, I do take note who's supportive and who isn't, but I don't let it stop me, and I won't let it block me. I won't let it get me down. And I want to encourage you to take on that same heart, to take on that same mindset, to take on that same attitude. Don't let what's coming from the external block you. Don't let it stop you, and don't let it get you down for the count. So as we prepare to leave, I share the information that I share for self-evaluation to put yourself in line and in a position for elevation. This has been the Loretta Petit Show, Women Winning at Life from Ministry to Marketplace. And as I go, Amelia Earhart gave this quote. She said, the most effective way to do it is to do it. So whatever you're going after, don't worry about who's not in it with you. Amelia Earhart said, the most effective way to do it is to do it. May God bless you. May God keep you. This is my prayer. We'll chat next Thursday. Bye-bye for now.
Hey, I'm Dr. Scott, and I'm here with my good friends Shirley Murdoch and Fred Hammond. That's right.